Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. We have here four topics. The first one, another Russian missile and drone attack, massive missile and drone attack on Ukraine on the night of the 11th to the 12th of November 2024. The second has to do with something that I predicted about 3 days ago, and it was not hard, but anyway, that the Russians prepare another counteroffensive, massive counteroffensive in another focused oblast. Remember, they are doing very well in Kharkov, they are doing very well in Luhansk, they are doing very well in Donetsk. So what remains? Two, right? But when one of those two, the Russians are preparing a massive offensive. Then we find out that the Russians, evil Russians, even though they're winning, you can't deny they are advancing and winning towards Pokrovsk in Donetsk. They are. So they want to do something stupid, which is do the same thing the Ukrainians, Zelensky-Stein, claim they did with the Kakhovka dam. Do you remember what the Russians allegedly did to the Novokakhovka dam? Yeah, exactly. They try to do the same thing to flood the Ukrainian troops because they're winning. So the Russians are winning or advancing and they flood them because it doesn't make sense, but I'm just reporting. And then the last topic has to do with the great country of Romania. And the great country of Romania was activated by their masters. And they start crying that the Russians are trying to sway their beautiful presidential elections, even though Romania is under occupation. It's unbelievable. But this is the kabuki that's in Romania, or the clown show, however you want to call it. They have elections over there. Yes, but they banned candidates, and I will tell you about one candidate that was banned from even running. Man, those guys learn fast how democracy functions in America. And not only, if the wrong person has a lot of followers, you ban him, make that person illegal. Like what's going to happen in Germany, Alternative for Deutschland. And Trump close, but Trump signed the paper, so he was allowed to be selected. Ukrainska Pravda. Russia launches over 100 drones on Ukraine. Ukraine's air defense downs 46. So, I didn't read this article, but let's make a little prognosis. Let's predict. How many drones do you think the Ukrainians claim they disappeared? Remember, nowadays, when the Russians, let's say, launch about 100 drones, the Ukrainians don't say we destroyed 95 of them. No. They're smarter. They say now they become a little bit... it was obvious they were exaggerating. So now they usually say half of them we down and the other one just disappeared from the radar. That means, I don't know, retired, went back to mommy or something. So usually it's kind of the same number. So in this case, more than 100 drones were launched. They say they down 46, probably about 50, 55, around 50, some, maybe more, a little bit more, not less than 46. They just disappeared. So let's read the article and see how many actually they did. This is from Ukrainska Pravda on the 12th of November. Russia carried out several missile strikes and launched 110 drones against Ukraine on the night of 11 to 12 November. Ukraine's air defense downed 46 drones. 66 had disappeared, so 60 disappeared. So a little bit more than half, I mean the same almost as 46, from a radar, and 2 entered the Belarusian airspace. So Russian forces launched an S-300 guided anti-aircraft missile on the northeastern city of Kharkiv from Russia's Belgorod Oblast. So from Belgorod, the S-300 went to Kharkiv. All right, so from Belgorod, right here, it went to Kharkov. This is the S-300 that did that. Then we have 2 Kh-59-69 guided air-to-surface missiles on Chernihiv Oblast from Kursk. So from Kursk in Chernihiv. That is from Kursk to Chernigov or Chernihiv. These are the Kh-69-59. From Russia's Kursk, dropped glide bombs on Sumy, Kharkiv Oblast, and deployed 110 Shahed attack drones and other drones that have not been identified from Kursk, Primorsko-Akhtarsk, and Bryansk. So from Kursk, Primorsko-Akhtarsk, and Bryansk. So this is from Kursk, Bryansk, right here, and Primorsko-Akhtarsk, across from the Sea of Azov, is right where my hand is. The Russians launched the 110 Shahed drones. And let's see what oblasts were targeted. So they targeted this oblast: Kiev, Zhytomyr, Poltava, Sumy, Kharkiv, Cherkasy, Zaporizhzhia, Chernihiv, Dnipropetrovsk, and Mykolaiv Oblast. So Zhytomyr, I think, is the one that is the furthest, right? Zhytomyr is right here. So Zhytomyr, Kiev, Chernihiv, Sumy, Poltava, Kharkiv, Dnipropetrovsk, Zaporizhzhia here area, and then Mykolaiv. So this mainly in this area like that. All right, let's go to the next article that comes from the Russians telling us what they hit. Sputnik: Russian strikes hit Ukraine's defense infrastructure as military assets destroyed. 20 minutes ago, today on November 12th. The attacks were carried out using operational tactical aviation, missile forces, artillery, and strike drones. The Russian army has struck military airfields and energy facilities supporting Ukraine's defense industry. And I'm quoting: damage was inflicted on the infrastructure of military airfields, energy facilities supporting the activities of Ukraine's military industrial complex, as well as concentrations of enemy personnel and military equipment in 142 areas, the ministry specified. Likewise, air defense systems shot down 6 HIMARS multiple rocket system rounds produced in the United States and 71 flying drones. So 71 flying drones, and these guys had 110 drones. All right, let's see where this offensive is about to begin in Ukraine, according to Ukrainians, right? And New Voice of Ukraine. This is from November 11th, 2024. Russia may begin major offensive in Zaporizhzhia Oblast within days. That's exactly what I said. And they say, well, they're going to try this with I don't know what, because let me show you where Zaporizhzhia is, right here. Zaporizhzhia Oblast. Yesterday I covered a piece of news coming from the Ukrainians that Russians are trying to start an offensive in Kursk together with their so-called North Korean troops over there. So let's see what evidence these guys bring, if any, if needed. Russian forces may begin ground assaults in Zaporizhzhia Oblast within a few days. Ukrainian military spokesperson Voloshin told Reuters on November 11. These potential attacks could add pressure on Ukrainian troops already facing challenges in the east, the report said. It remains unclear whether this will be a large-scale offensive or separate assault operations. Assaults may start very soon. We're not even talking weeks here. We expect this to happen any day now. Any day now. Okay, now, I claimed maybe 3 days ago that the Russians are focusing now on Odessa and in Zaporizhzhia. Why? Because they focused some of their bombardments on those two areas. That is, you tender and then you put the seasoning and then you put it on the grill. That's exactly what's gonna be. They shoot the air defense weapons of the Ukrainians, and after they clear that, they advance a little bit and then do it again, and then they advance. They do it again and then advance. That's how it's played here, with drones, with missiles, with artillery, and so on. But that's not as horrible as this topic or this piece of news coming from the Ukrainians that I don't believe. But anyway, let's see. The New Voice of Ukraine. Why do I feature it then? Because these guys are just trying to create the, only evil and only good. We are the good, they are the evil. Russian forces target Kurakhove Reservoir dam to flood Ukrainian positions. So I will show you where that is, and I don't think it makes sense. I'm going to explain why. The report notes that Russian forces are currently conducting offensive operations north, southeast, south, and southwest of Kurakhove as part of their efforts to eliminate the Ukrainian advances on the Kurakhove front. What eliminate the Ukrainian advance? The Ukrainians were not advancing whatsoever. According to these liars, Institute for the Study of War, the offensive operations by Russian forces northwest and north of Kurakhove along the Sontsivka Voznetsenkaya Novoselivka line aim to advance southwest and south to encircle the Ukrainian defense forces north of Kurakhove Reservoir. The Russian army is also advancing along this line right here to encircle Ukrainian position south of Kurakhove. I will show you. The Kurakhove Reservoir is a significant water barrier that separates Ukrainian groupings north and south of Kurakhove. Institute for the Study of War says. Now let me show you what these guys are talking about. This is in Donetsk People Republic, right here, where the Russians have been advancing successfully, and this is not a fantastic map. I'm going to show you one even better than this one. So this is the reservoir right here, Kurakhove Reservoir, or Kurakhovka, however you want to use it, Ukrainian, Polish, Russian, whatever. So here is it. So this is north and this is south. This is the line they're talking about here. Vosolevka, Pumapap. So the Russians want to go around here, obviously go around here. I think they are in the process of achieving that. So why in the hell they would try to blow the right here, the dam, in order for this to just go around, to flood the Ukraine. Only the Ukrainians, because the water would just go towards the Ukrainians, not the Russians, because that's the way it is, right? So why would they do that? Well, you never know. These guys are winning, but they're going to create that. Who's doing things in desperation? The ones who are losing. So that would be a desperate move. Zelensky Stein claimed with his big lie that the Russians destroyed the Kakhovka dam. I'm going to show you where that is located. You know, across from the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. They just made it dry so they can advance. Well, it's not impossible, but the Russians says they didn't. Why should I believe those guys and not the other guys? I don't believe any without evidence. The evidence that we have and the evidence that they provided was this: the dam was blown up. That's the evidence. Who did it? I can say the Americans. Can you prove that's not? Oh, maybe you want to try to prove a negative? Well, pointing fingers, we can all do this. So that's one map. Look at this map, and I'm going to show another map which is more current map right here. So look at this, how far these guys are in here. These guys just can cross here. I mean, I'm saying it like it's easy, but anyway, they can. These guys are bombarding this area. The troops that are in here, they're already encircled, and they tell me that the Russian need to flood this. I don't think so. I don't think so. You see, the Russians are even closer here and advanced more on this map, this is even, and they have to destroy this one. I don't believe that anyway. But hey, the Institute for the Study of War tell us that Russian forces may have struck the Ternivska Dam in order to flood settlements along the Vovcha River west of the reservoir. So west of the reservoir, extending water barriers separating these Ukrainian groupings. They could, but so could the Ukrainians. All right, and you will say why? So they can tell these baboons in the West how bad the Russians are. They create ecological calamities, like they did in Kakhovka. Let me show you the Kakhovka garbage. Right? Okay. So here is where we are in Donetsk, and this is in Zaporizhzhia. This is no more. This reservoir is no more. Here is the Energodar. This is where the power plant is. The power plant, yeah, the nuclear power plant, Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. This is all flooded, not flooded anymore. And here is, if you go down on Donetsk, you're gonna go to right here, Novokakhovka. So this dam right here was blown up by the Russians. The big liar told us, and that this little reservoir is no more over there, right here. And now they tell me this, they're gonna do it again, because you see, it's just a guy that does it again. He's just, a pattern. Therefore, he's a bad dude. Let's go to the next one. Next one is just going to be a confirmation coming from Ukraine Forum that the Russian forces may have struck Kurakhivske Reservoir dam to aid offensive. Institute for the Study of War. I always want to expose the Institute for the Study of War. Who is the director? Kimberly Kagan. Who's her husband? Another Kagan. Who's the husband's brother? Another Kagan. And who's the brother's wife? Victoria Nuland. All of them belong to the same group. Kimberly Kagan with the two brothers, and then you got Victoria Nuland. All of them. It's an operation, and Victoria Nuland is linked to this operation, and the Ukrainians use Institute for the Study of War intensively just to let us know what things are in the front. I don't believe squat from the Institute for the Study of War, but they tell us may have struck. You know or you don't know? What do you mean may have? They did or didn't. You know if they did, and you know if they didn't. So again, it's just that this is just a foot in the door. So let's see. Russian forces may have targeted the dam of the Kurakhove Reservoir to cause significant and long-lasting flooding to the west, potentially facilitating efforts to encircle the Ukrainian forces north and south of Kurakhove. So to the west. So to the west. So they blow it here, so they flood them to the west, right there, because they're not close enough. They're not around to encircle them. No, they're not. Really, they want to blame this for the Ukrainians probably retreating, again, in a desperation, retreating over there and say, it's because of the calamity. No, look at this, all right? So when they're going to tell you the Russians did it, don't believe that until you verify. Maybe we will do it, but as of now, I believe squat. All right, let's go to the last topic. Ukrainska Pravda, Russia is trying to influence presidential elections in Romania. Russia. And Romania is under the US occupation. Oh my God. November 11th. Russia is attempting to influence the next presidential elections in Romania. I can almost tell you who will be the next president, which will take place in late November or early December. Russia is attempting to influence Romanian elections through proxies and intermediaries, such as Russia-related or Russian-funded organizations and institutions, possibly including candidates. All right, according to the article, every Russian person in Romania is under constant monitoring. What? According to the article, every Russian person in Romania is under constant monitoring. How do you like that? And the country counterintelligence records prospective attempts to cast doubt on Romania's membership in the European Union and NATO. Furthermore, Romanian legislators raised the issue, calling for an investigation whether countries such as Russia, China, and North Korea interfere in the elections, for example, by conducting hacker attacks on Romanian public institutions. Now again, who's the problem? Along the other indicators of such influence, DG24 mentions this television, blah, 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 mentions a network of bots and trolls on social media who are attempting to obtain illegitimate content to promote certain candidates, into which the Romanian police have also begun to investigation. So be careful. All right. So the first round of Romania's presidential election will be held on November 24th, and the second on 8th of December. Klaus Iohannis, the Romanian Klaus Iohannis, that sounds Romanian, the incumbent president and the representative of the National Liberal Party, cannot serve a third term. Last month, this is going to be the future Romanian president, NATO Deputy Secretary General Mircea Joană, one of Romania's presidential candidates, was embroiled in a scandal after it was revealed that his campaign previous coordinator had connections to a Russian propagandist and businessman. No, he comes from NATO, so yeah. Romania probes Russian efforts to sway presidential vote. Okay, so let me tell you this. Do you remember the parliamentarian, Diana Șoșoacă? She was banned, so from running. So she is, I think, she is in Romanian parliament. She won a seat in the Parliament of Europe in Strasbourg, right? Brussels, whatever that is, right? Strasbourg, I think. And then they banned her. They said, you can't be a candidate. We don't allow you to be a candidate because you said certain things about Russia that we don't like. And you said something about Americans that, again, we don't like. So we, who's we, they put her illegal. Back. I'm trying to interview Miss Diana Șoșoacă. I extended an invitation. And I hope she will come on this channel. And I will speak Romanian with Mrs. Diana Șoșoacă. I look forward to doing that. So this is democracy in Romania. The same thing, these guys try to do the same thing with Trump, but I suspect Trump was agreed with something, with the list put forth, and then therefore they say, okay, hold our horses, let him go, let him follow the script, and if he steps sideways, left or right, just an inch, we're going to start over, and he's going to... All right, that's what I think about the selection of great Donald Trump as being also our president. And so far I have two guys that he appointed as, in his future administration that are snakes. I will make a video on that one right after this one. So here you have it, my friends. The Romanians are afraid the Russians could interfere when they have American troops, people educated in the West, NGOs, people who work for other and these guys are afraid when they're actually under, that's my opinion, assessment on Romania overall. Romania is under occupation, military occupation, cultural occupation, political occupation, and then you have economic occupation. If Romania tomorrow, let's say people decide to vote, we want to go be part of, I don't know, something with Russia, these guys will do two things. They will just nullify everything and they will take over. First, because the people don't know what they want, they're just crazy. Or if they, by a miracle, remove themselves from Romania, which is not going to happen, Romania is going to become a no country. It's going to be broken in. Bulgaria will take some, obviously Hungary will take some are going to be like a Baboonstein in it, whatever it's going to be, Baboonstan, not with the Steins. The Steins are preferably. Here is, my friends, Romania, the Russians' interference. Who? Joanna, if you want to know about Mircea Joanna, he was whatever secretary, NATO undersecretary. How did you get there? Okay, look for Mr. Mircea Joanna's father. Okay, I dare you. And if you find what I think you're going to find, maybe you make some connections how he was just thrown into NATO after he lost against Mr. Băsescu. And Mr. Băsescu was not Russia's man. Mr. Băsescu was someone else's man. Anyway, person. All right, thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.